So for new viewers, we're getting a lot of new viewers, which is really cool and welcome. I've had a few questions in the comments. So the numbers, when I talk about numbers, it's the order of the alphabet. A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3. And that's what the numbers are. So when I'm connecting the dots, I'm using the order of the alphabet to connect the dots. So who's in the chat? Let's see. Are we going to be censored on this? Hey, Olive. So 274 days in, that comes to currency exchange, the reset. 274. Hey, everyone. We've got 88, there you go, 88 miles per hour, 88 in the chat. Matthew, Martin McFly, there you go, brilliant. So, I've had some really helpful comments, actually. There you go, 125 time travel, 88 miles per hour. Since we've had all the shows about the Black Swan event, it's interesting because you get kind of spammy comments highlighted at the top, but you also are noticing now I'm getting really good, I would call you white hats, that are being put at the top of the comments, but really good information. So one of them that came through today was this whole thing with the Amazon servers. So in numbers, Amazon Web Services comes to 200, which comes to like a thief in the night, and that makes me think of the jewel thief over in the Louvre in Paris. And remember, over the last few days, I've been talking about Catwoman, played by Anne Hathaway, who's in Interstellar. Her name's Brand 39, Angel 39, Cotter, as in Circuit of the Americas 39, and then she plays Catwoman, and she talks about the storm to Bruce Wayne, to Batman, in the ballroom when they're dancing. And The Dark Knight Rises 206 comes to Amazon Web Servers. So Amazon Web Servers comes to 206, which comes to Circuit of the Americas 206, which comes to The Dark Knight Rises 206. And I was feeling that we're going to see basically the racing track, the cars kind of, the ground imploding below them, and the cars kind of running off the track. And that's been in some films. Look at look at the depiction of Ready Player One, which is a great film, particularly the opening sequences. So they were the things that were popping into my mind. Who else is in the chat? Here we go. But what I'm noticing, I've said it before, is I know where the goal line is. I know where the goal is. And when you score a goal in football, you score a goal, but there's 100 different places you can put it in, but it will still cross the line. And that's what it's a little bit like with what we're doing. So we're getting all the information, we're getting the downloads. There's always a little slight twist or something else we haven't seen, but they all draw it together. It's all brought together, which is amazing. So that's how it works. And that's what we're doing. We're going from one beacon, from one mountaintop to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. And then eventually we crack the puzzle. There you go, got 64 in the chat. Thumbs up, and 230 in the chat. 230 is the length of the Tenet movie, and 64 is Tenet. And hit the hype button, that really helps. Thank you. And the like button. Thanks, guys and girls. So going back to Amelia Hathaway, Selena Kyle. Selena Kyle in Numbers, the Batman Catwoman character. And they're saying, someone put on my Twitter, which was great, that they're saying it was $88 million or pounds worth of jewels that were taken. There's a car there. And then Selena Kyle comes to 90 in numbers, which comes to Matthew, as in Matthew McConaughey, and he turned up at the Qatar at the racetrack on Sunday, and he plays Sonny Hayes, Joseph Cooper with Amelia Brand. There you go. Yeah, follow the yellow brick road. And then also the Brad Pitt character, Sonny Hayes. Brad Pitt is 90. And then Catwoman, the jewel thief, Selena Kyle. Selena Kyle is also played by Lenny Kravitz's daughter as well, in the other Batman movie. And something I forgot to mention was another reason I felt that it was going to happen in Austin, Texas, is because you've got Austin Butler, the actor, who plays Elvis in the Elvis movie, and President Trump's been doing comms on Elvis. And we know that President Trump had the shooting in Butler with the V sign of the blood. Someone's put something up about that with, it looks like the NASA stripe, which is very interesting. And 88 also was, so that was why, and then there's a film that's come out recently with him, and it says caught stealing. So that's the whole thief thing. And you've got, and his girlfriend in that film is Lenny Kravitz's daughter, who plays Selena Kyle in the other Batman movie. So you've got all of these cross-pollinations of what's going on, and they're pointing all out to us. Checkmate 69, there you go. The other thing is Melissa Harper. Thank you, Melissa, for your contributions and support. And she pointed out, and she was a highlighted comment, so she's a good one. She pointed out that when the web service went down late on Sunday night in America, so Pacific Standard Time, that it went down at 11:56 p.m. And 11:56 p.m. is a time that's deliberately displayed at the beginning of the F1 movie, Sonny Hayes. And I've looked at some of the reports on that. Some are saying it started 11:49ish, but they might have changed the reports, I don't know, but she's got that. And I've found parts that say it was 11:56. And that makes sense for the film, because I was tying Batman along with F1 and saying that was the Black Swan event. And then we've got the whole thing with the jewel thief. We've got the whole thing with we got the whole thing with the Brad Pitt character at 11:56 when the Amazon servers went down. So it started, and that's the start of the movie. So the start is 78 in numbers, and Brad Pitt says in the film, he says it's a start, and also Batman says that in Batman Begins, it's a start. The start is 78, and a start line is also in Back to the Future, and start is 78 October. So the 19th, hey folks, so the 19th is a temporal pincer, but a start. So a start of what? A start of all these events. And so maybe I still feel that there's going to be this massive black swan, but the lead up to it looks like maybe there'll be many strange things that happen along the way. I mean, the Amazon servers isn't like it's global, but it wasn't like a super dramatic, but it was still a big event, and it's been pinpointed now by 11:56 at the start of the F1 movie. Another thing is the Blue Jays. So a guy called Jeff Hoffman, someone else pointed this out on Twitter, which was great. Thank you for that. So the guy that threw the winning pitch in the baseball for the Blue Jays yesterday, they got into the World Series. World Series is 147, which is the trump card. 147 is Epstein Island. That will be one of the trump cards that gets played when that's revealed. 147 is the frequency, the history. You change your history, you change your frequency. But he threw the pitch, the baseball at 88 miles per hour. So there's 88 miles per hour coming up all over the place. And 88 is obviously trumping numbers for the new people. But 88 mph comes to 125, which comes to October 19th. So October 19th, that's 125, which is the numbers 125, which is dark to light 125. So since that point that I said about the Black Swan event taking place, there's been all these beautiful other things that have happened that have springboarded off from that timeline, which is fantastic. And then someone else pointed out on YouTube today, and they said AWS, if you did the next Black Swan, the next, so N, the next AWS, that's Swan backwards. So you've got Swan, SWAN, but then if you flip it and if you say the next Black Swan, so next AWS, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. So thank you for that as well. So there's all these markers, and this is what happens. So when I do the numbers, I get the numbers, the downloads come, and then it gets cross-pollinated and cross-referenced. Even yesterday, I haven't done a full decode, I haven't posted it up, but there was a weird, unusual headline in the newspapers yesterday on the Daily Star, which is the conduit for all this, and it talked about Stuart Pearce, who's an ex-footballer of England. I've got a picture with him. I met him, and it talks about his son tragically died in strange circumstances. But the actual headline that they did, the way they worded it, it actually adds up to 355, which takes you to the military industrial complex over at Las Vegas, and for the F1 race on JFK's birthday. Well, that weekend, the preparation day on the Saturday, P-Day on Saturday. But if you do Formula One, Las Vegas Heineken Grand Prix, it comes to 355 in numbers, which is remember the 5th of November. And remember the 5th of November. 5th of November is 17 days before November 22nd, which is the JFK date. And then 17 days before November 5th is October 19th, which I said about the Black Swan. So you can see how everything's going on. And we've got 444 in the chat now, which is a lovely number to confirm what I've just said. So you can see how all this springboards from each other. So this is what happens. This is the numbers. What we're doing is we're cross-pollinating, and we're getting codes, we're getting numbers, we're getting synchronicities, and it creates and blends timelines as we move forward and as we ascend. This is what happens. So you can't always see everything that pops up, but you can see some pieces, and then they blend with the others. So yeah, Back to the Future is all part of it. The F1 movie is all part of it. Batman's all part of it, and a whole host of other ones. You know, all these other films, but also real time. So you get it in the papers, but also in our lives. So I get it day to day, where I'm talking, and then someone will say something to me, and then it'll cross-pollinate with exactly what I've just thought about just that moment. So I get that. You probably get that as well. But that's what it is. This is the ascension. This is the codes. This is as we ascend, our DNA elevates as it expands. We become more powerful in our abilities. And the ones that don't get it, they're either not the same as us or they're just a little bit behind. But I have seen some that didn't get it a few years ago, now they are getting it, which is great. So that's the whole point of it. That's why we keep moving forward with it. So and that's what it is. Who have we got? Matthew, there you go. Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. I saw someone put a post out about the Truman Show, and when he comes out of the cloud, think of the cloud 55, and goes down the steps. It looked like an elevator picture of when President Trump comes out of the airplane as well. But I've known this for a while, so the Truman Show in numbers comes to 185, Donald John Trump 185, which is the Book of Revelation 185, the Matrix reset. Hey Lens, good to see you. Reset the Matrix 185. We've got another one as well on Jeff Hoffman, the player, the baseball player. So if you do Hoffman, so on his shirt it says Hoffman 23. So 23 was one of their numbers, but we've taken the numbers back. We've taken them all back. So Hoffman is 63, which is JFK, happening in 63. It happened on a Friday, 63. Actually, if you do 63, 63, that comes to 126. 126 comes to the Louvre Louvre is 93, Bushnell 93, Plotus 93, Hungarian. I spoke about Victor Orban the other day or yesterday. But 126 is John Connor, Sarah Connor. The Louvre 126, which spells 45. But then on his jersey, so this guy, the player, you have he's wearing number 23, and his name is Hoffman 63 plus 23 comes to 86. 86 comes to Black Swan. 86 comes to Las Vegas. 86 comes to Tunnel. 86 comes to Highlander. Ivanka tweeted years ago about her grandmother being a Highlander, and then that tweet, well, not tweet, the Q post with Ivanka, and it talks about the triumvirate. So the triumvirate is the House of Saud, Soros, and the Rothschilds, and Q has listed them as plus, and then plus or plus, yeah, so plus.